Hi, my name is Candy Thorson. We've been at HomeLink now for 2.5 years. I have 3 children, grades 1st grade, 3rd grade, and 4th grade. This is our 2nd year to do the IEW writing structure and style. And so I wanted to give you a short overview of it and hopefully help clarify some questions you have as you choose curriculum for next year. Last year, we did the structure and style for students year 1 level A. And this year we are doing one of the themed structure and style writing books. They both cover the same subjects. They're just set up differently. So the level A is set up that the students have a DVD that they watch and that teaches them the writing lesson. And that's taught by Andrew Pudwa, who is the founder of the program. And the lessons are about 30 to 40 minutes, and students watch them about every other to every 3rd week. So it's not a weekly thing, but they can be a little long. I really enjoyed those to do our first year as we were learning the program. And it helped that I sat and watched them with my daughter as she was learning it, so that it reinforced the concepts for me. Before you teach writing structure and style, they really want you to do the teaching writing structure and style curriculum. And that is for the parent to do. It has many DVDs. It's kind of a long curriculum, but it is worth doing. Something maybe to do over the summer as you're prepping for the school year. I consider it my teacher training to get that done, but it will really help your IEW year go a lot smoother and answer a lot of your questions. Andrew Pudwa also goes over a lot of his theories behind why they have the student do different things, like why do they ask the student to write only in pen, or why do they double space it? And then he goes through how to teach each level of IEW. It's also great to keep those on hand when you come to a different level in IEW and maybe you or your child are struggling and you just can't remember the concept. You can reference back to that DVD and watch it. Some of the things that we have really loved about IEW is that the student doesn't have to, at the beginning when they're learning writing, create the ideas for the story. They're given a prompt. The very first lesson, they're taught how to outline the prompt and then how to write from that outline. Now they're writing in very similar writing to what they had just read, but it's a great skill for them to start to learn. They aren't having to come up with the ideas of the story while they're learning to write. And Andrew Pudwa goes over why he separates those things out. As they get further and further into the curriculum, towards the end of the curriculum, they start to learn how to take notes from their own brain and start to come up with their own ideas and write from that. So he talks about how important it is to learn the writing skills first and then to come up with the ideas of what you want to write about. That is one thing that we have loved. Another thing that I have loved is that it goes slow. Andrew Pudwa talks about doing easy plus one. So they learn one skill. When that's easy, then you add one more skill to learn. When that's easy, you add one more. So it's a slow building of skills. And there's lots of repetition for the child to practice their skills. It's been easy to follow for us. And it has, especially the themed, even the level A has some great fun stories that my children have really enjoyed and just love doing. Now, some of them, they cover different themes, so some of them, they aren't as exciting. But especially the themed books that you can choose from, there's just some fun stories, and my kids have loved writing them. The other thing that Andrew Pudwa talks about is that you can do this type of writing with anything. So there's been times that I've taken parts from our history reading and had the children use that history prompt to do their IEW work, and my kids thought that was cool because they wrote about what we wrote in history. So you can use these concepts and write your own prompts if you want. You don't have to use their writing prompts. So why don't I show you the curriculum to give you a better idea of it. Okay, I don't have my level A curriculum here with me at the moment. You can go online and look at that and what it looks like. This is the themed writing, and the themed writing comes in a spiral bound notebook, and they work through the notebook. The level A is a little different because the student gets a 3-ring binder, and then they have tabs, and behind those tabs they fill out worksheets and take notes, and they put all their writing in there. So this is a little different setup. With the themed books, they don't have a DVD lesson that they do. Basically, they just read in the book. We sit and do it together. So here's an example. Lesson 4, they're going to be looking at this is writing from outlines. They're going to be looking at the crow and the peacocks. This is their goal. We do some review together. This is what we're going to learn. And then they have them do some practice. We talk about quality adjectives, what those are, how to use them, and then they give their assignment, which is usually about what we do for the week. Then they have their prompt, and they will get on their assignment. It tells them what to do here, and they have their outline. They give some examples of how to work through the things that they're learning, and then that's the end of that part of the lesson. Now, lesson 4B, they learned how to make a title, and then they have a checklist. So at the end of every lesson, there is a checklist, and the students are to use the checklist to check their own work and make sure that they have included everything that they need. Now, I said that Andrew Poudrois encourages the easy +1. So they have learned just simple structure things. The easy +1 comes into play here with their elements of style. So they have learned at this point, lesson 4, they have learned how to use a strong verb, an ly word, and a quality adjective. Now, another reason why it's really important to watch the how to teach structure and style is he talks about, okay, what do you do when maybe this is too much for your student? How do you adjust for that? And then what if maybe this is too easy for your student? How to adjust to that and different changes to make. So that is very helpful. This is what comes with the themed books. You get your student book and your teacher's manual. The teacher's manual says, this is what you're doing today. Here's your vocab words. It has some extra things to add in, like your vocab words and some different lessons. They also give you an outline for what lessons to do. So week 1, lesson 1. And some of them get split up into, like lesson 5 gets split up into 2 weeks. This is their recommended schedule. You don't have to follow it. You can do what works for you. And the way they lay it out is 35 weeks. So that gives you a little bit of wiggle room to move things around. Maybe 1 week took a little longer, or you wanted to reinforce an idea for a little longer. Those are basically the books. If you want to see what they go through, what subjects they go through, what they learn, they lay it out here in the scope and sequence, and you can look at that on their website, on IEW's website. Here's an example of a rough draft of my daughter's work that she did from an outline. So she had a prompt. She wrote this from her, she outlined her prompt. She wrote this from her outline, and then she had to do a final draft in it. And you can see the editing marks and the things she had to include. So I hope that gives you an overview of IEW. It's been great for us as far as getting a solid start on writing, and we have really loved it.